Hey guys, thanks for having us. This is Dad's first time on Zoom, so welcome Dad to the Zoom world. We were debating on whether to do this in Ferrum or in Rocky Mount, but we decided the tasting room would probably be best because that's where we host most of our guests. Do you just want to do a walkthrough, or kind of what would you guys like to see particularly? Is there anything that you'd like to see in particular, or?
I think we'll leave this tour up to you. So
Cool. That sounds good. So this weekend is kind of exciting because the tasting room gets to open back up. We're working on a patio space. We haven't got it poured yet, but we're getting there. We do have tables and chairs there. But Friday we can open inside, of course, at the 50% capacity. But we're super excited. A lot's going on this weekend. So tasting room is open Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 1 to 7, patio, outdoors, and indoors. Of course, we can't have the bar open. That's just part of the guidelines, but we've got seating inside. We've got probably 10 to 15 seats inside, which isn't a lot, but it's a good bit, and usually the turnover on people coming in and out is pretty quick. And there's probably, I'd say, 15 seats outside, too. We're most excited about the cruise in on Saturday and how people can come by the patio and watch it. It'll be roped off. I look for us to be pretty busy there, but I'm just going to pick up the phone now and kind of walk you through. That's probably the best way to do this. Do you want to say anything, Daddy?
Hey.
All right. Let me figure out how to swap this. Usually I do this on my computer, but we're on the phone. Okay, so when you first walk in the door, we've lined up all our seating over here. We've got to space it out 6 feet apart. Please excuse the mess because we've got all of our patio furniture inside. Our recent venture would be the Sanitizer. That has been quite the undertaking, but it's been fun and it's been rewarding. We're a pretty small team, so there's probably 6 of us total, hardcore getting at it. So we've all pulled together and done the Sanitizer thing, but it is FDA approved. When we started, we were just using straight up our alcohol and not denaturing it. So it was undenatured, which means it was consumable. We, of course, didn't tell people that, but it was undenatured, which means people could drink it. So we decided to take chemicals basically and denature it, which we had to do that to be FDA compliant. But it is FDA registered, so that's fun. That's why we can sell it now. Oh, and one more thing. If you bring your own bottle, then you can fill up for free, donation-based. But if you'd like your own bottle, they're $5. And then we also have gallons, too. Here's our liquor, which I'll let Daddy talk about in a little bit. This will all be roped off amidst phase 2. The couches will be roped off, but like I said, we're going to work on seating in here on this front half, just tables and stuff. Probably one of our most exciting things, or I guess something that I'm super passionate about, is how local we are. We've got all kinds of gear and all kinds of goods, and it's all made right here in Franklin County. And the other cool thing is, I'm sure you all know that Franklin County is really the only place in the state of Virginia that has the Virginia is for Moonshine Lovers sub-brand. So we've got those t-shirts and we've got the sign. That's all we have as of right now. So that's kind of that. Excuse the mess. So we have quite a few gallons left. If you guys need any, it's here, and it's 40 a gallon. It's 80% alcohol by volume. I'm gonna let Dad take it away. This is different for him, but yeah.
Well, this is just a little deal that we got here to kind of show how things were done here in the county many years ago. Well, it ain't been so many years ago, I reckon, and it has too. But anyway, this is a little copper steel that we do run it, and it belonged to a real good friend of mine. Me and him used to cut a whole lot of capers years ago, and this actually come out of the woods, and we kind of refurbished it, and I set it up in here kind of the way it was, the way I got it. I guess you could say he had it in a little place, and he done got old and out of the business. And he told me if I could take it and use it anyway, bring it on. So that's what I did. Set it up so people see how the old timey way was doing things. But we missing our thumper. We use a wooden barrel for a thumper. This is a steel, and that's a cat. And I had a wooden barrel over there for a thumper, but it dried out where we hadn't been using it none, so I took it out. And I'm gonna bring back a stainless steel barrel and use for a thumper. But anyway, this is just a little steel like it's been so many of here in this county in times gone by. And that's all I know to say about that.
If you guys,
Like
if you guys have any questions, just shout them out. I'm just gonna give a quick visual. Here's all of our pint jars. I forgot to mention we're doing takeout cocktails. This ends on June 11th. It was just a privilege. Virginia ABC loosened up and allowed some privileges just to help sales for distillers. So takeout cocktails have been a huge hit. And like I said, it ends on June 10th. And they come in little pint jars. There's 3 ounces of alcohol in them. We've got a lot of jars left, so I hope that it would be awesome if we could sell all these. But
we stocked up and ready.
yeah. Why don't you tell them about the beer working and how that works up there? We don't have any beer working here right now because we're obviously at the tasting room in Rocky Mount, but we've got some pictures that may help
Yeah, that's your mash there where she's showing you a picture of when you're making liquor. We start off making pure grain stuff like pure corn whiskey or pure rye, and we don't put any sugar. And that don't deserve to be categorized in the moonshine category because it's high-end stuff and it's a whole lot of work for a little bit of yield. But after we make that pure grain corn whiskey, which is absolutely no sugar, we have to go through the whole mashing process and break your starches down in the grains to get the sugars out of it and at certain temperatures and all that and mash it in. And then after we distill that off, we take and sugar back the spent mash, and that's our first sugar. That's the first time sugar hit the mash, and so that's the reason I called it that.
that top one is sugar liquor.
That up there sugar beer working what she's showing you a picture of. It gets a big old foamy cap on it, and it's just like watching fire burn. You just sit there and watch it. There's something other about it. You just like stand over and look at it.
What about this?
That's a proofing bar. Now all that's set up the old timey way. I done it just so people could see how it was, here the way that people used to do. But up there where we do most of our production, it's a little more modernized. We got little pumps and different type filters and things. But down here, we just done this so people can see how it was. And we run this. I mean, everything in here, we make liquor in here, but not that often. And since can't nobody come in here now, we ain't made none in here in a long time. We'll probably get back at it one of these days. I guess we'll ever turn it.
How long does each process take?
It takes about 3 days from the time you mash it in till you work it off, and you gotta mash it in. We got mash boxes, and we'll mash in a tank, and then it'll take about 3 days for it to ferment, and then when it gets done, we pump it up in steel and run it, and then you go back the next day and cool it out. You let it sit overnight and cool out, and you put your sugar back in, and then you work it off again, and then that's your sugar liquor right there. So that's the way that is. But about 3 or 4 days, something like that.
And that's for the beer?
Yeah, that and running it too. It might take about 4 days time you get it mashed in and worked off and run and all of that. It's about a 4-day ordeal.
And what about the liquor process? How long does that take?
It takes about 3 or 4 hours per steel full if to run a steel full. So after you get the beer worked off and run a steel full, it don't take all that long to get liquor in the bucket.
Yeah.
Then you're ready to go to sipping.
We're kind of under construction. I'm gonna walk over here and show these guys off.
Yeah, that was my local mash fork right there. he was my great uncle Mike Ross. He was into the whiskey business I ain't gonna say in a big kind of way, but he was into it in some kind of way there many years ago. And I wound up getting his mash for it. And this is one where I made, but this is what you use when you're making that pure grain corn whiskey. You use this right here. You ain't got no blenders or nothing, so you take and get you a fork and stick and tie. This is the old-timey way. We got mixers up there where we do most of it at now. But anyway, you take and tie your wires off on this fork and stick, and then you have to, when you put your scalding water to that grain, you have to take and you have to beat that stuff in just like a mix it, and that beats all the lumps out of the grain and stirs it up good, and then you're ready for working it off or fermenting, I guess. I ain't never done no such a thing as this.
Doing good, Daddy. But I'm looking forward to when people can come back. We're planning on having a night of making liquor with the early inn, which is where we have dinner with the inn, and then they walk over here, and then they make their liquor, and they of course drink their spirits. And this year they're actually going to get to bottle and label their own, which is going to be a fun twist. But I hope we still get to do that, even if we push it back.
Yeah, this little steel right here, I got to get started on this steel thing. This has got a gas burner under it, where you use bottled gas, and that's the way we run this. That right there is the more common way in this area, is to put direct fire under the steel and cook it just like putting a fire under a pot of beans or something other. But at home, up there where we do most of the production, we got a steam steel, and so don't no fire never touch none of our products. And we got a boiler that it's full of water, and we boil that water and pipe steam over into our mash, over into our working fermented beer, and pipe the steam down in that, and the steam cooks that stuff, and it makes for a whole lot smoother drink. And you don't have to worry about sticking it, because when you fire one under the bottom and you stir in that thing with a stick, and you was to stick a little old spot in it, it'd be just like sticking beans in the pot. It'd be burnt, and that ain't good at all. So that's the two different styles of making whiskey that we do. But this right here, is more common with the fire under it. But I like your steam looking better myself.
Chris and Anna, this is so awesome. Is there a way that your products can be bought online?
Dang, I don't know, Anna. I'll have to tell you about that. All I am is just a worker. I work and make it, and they have to see what they can do with it after that.
That's awesome.
So, we're not shipping right now. We haven't got that set up. I don't know if we will. You can buy it online, but it's all pickup right now. So we just did that to keep things contactless. But you can buy it online and pick it up here. But as far as shipping, not yet. And like I said, those privileges end pretty soon. So, but like I said, all of our spirits are here in the tasting room. Let's flip the camera around. We've got 7 different ones. 2 of them are in Virginia ABC stores, and that one would be the sugar liquor, as Daddy was explaining about, which is this one right here, and the peach brandy just got added to some additional stores. Those are probably the top 2 sellers, I'd say. But like I said, all 7 spirits are here at the tasting room. You can buy online and pick up, or you can just drop in and buy spirits. But I may let Dad talk a little bit about, just hit on the spirits a little bit.
Well, you got that thing on?
Yeah.
I was telling y'all about making that corn liquor a while ago. We start off when you're making corn liquor, it's a really deep subject, that making whiskey, because this county's got so known for its production of whiskey. But the most of the whiskey that was made here was just sugar liquor, which is, it was pretty inexpensive and easily made. Well, it wasn't easily made, but it was a lot easier than making like pure grain stuff. But some of the people that I was lucky enough to be around growing up and stuff, they were into the craft distilling, I guess you could say. They were all about the little copper steels, and they had their stuff for production too. They was into the black pots, which is more for production. and you just roll out a whole lot of liquor pretty inexpensively. But when you're making pure grain stuff, you start off with a pure grain-based mash, which would either be corn or rye. We use corn and rye, and we have used some wheat and just all kind of different stuff, but you use absolutely no sugar. And you have to go through the mashing process to break all the starches down in what grain you use to break the starches down and turn them sugar so you can feed on. But anyhow, what makes our sugar liquor really good is, I'll tell you, for example, if you're making just sugar liquor and you want to mash a black pot, which is what so many people know in this county, is your black pots, which are big 800-gallon steel, you'll take and put about 50 pounds of rye, and you'll use a sack of bran and 800 pounds of sugar, and pretty much that's most of the ingredients. Use a little malt, but anyway, that's the way you mash a black pot. But when you're making pure grain whiskey, we mash in 250-gallon box, and we'll use 250 pounds of grain, and we use absolutely no sugar. So it's very little yield when you do that, and it's really a whole lot of work involved, but it makes for a really good quality spirit. And that don't, I always tell people, that don't at all deserve to be classified as some moonshine product, because it's just because it's clear and unaged, it is pure grain whiskey. And after that, when you got that really good grain-based mash, you take and put sugar back to that after you've distilled your pure grain. You put sugar back in that spent mash and sugar it back, and then that makes for a really quality sugar whiskey. And so that was the old timers way of doing things back many years ago, before the black pots got so famous here in this county. But we make our brandy the same way as peach brandy right here. We take in, this ain't no flavored alcohol flavored with peaches. This ain't nothing but just peaches. We get peaches right from the orchard, and it takes a pile of peaches to make brandy. And we just put the peaches in the vat, and we mash them all up. And we do put a wee little bit of sugar in this brandy, but we don't put enough to hurt nothing. It just helps you yield a little bit. But for the most part, this is just peaches fermented, and then we distill them, and then we get a clear, unaged brandy. And we do that the same with the apple and the pear and the peach, and then the blackberry. We got blackberry brandy, and I actually bought blackberry puree to make it. And so that's how I wound up with blackberry brandy. I swore it ain't enough blackberries in the county to make a quart of brandy, hardly as much as it takes. So we wound up getting hooked up to somebody that got us some barrels of blackberry puree, and we fermented them and distilled it, and that's how we wound up blackberry brandy. But these apples and peaches and pears brandy, we got all that just right here local, and distilled it and made our brandy. So that's the way that was done.
I've had your peach brandy. It's awesome.
You like that peach brandy?
Very much. It's really
good. Well, thank you for trying it. It's, a lot of people think they've tasted peach brandy, but it's like what I was telling you about that corn whiskey. You might have been in the liquor business here in the county. Somebody might have been years ago, but you really had to know somebody to get some really good pure corn whiskey or some pure brandy, because it just wasn't a very common thing. I mean, it was. A lot of the old timers would make a little small batch every once in a while just to have something to sip on. But I kind of tried to stick true to what some of them told me I need to do when we got going. And so therefore I'm glad that folks can see what brandy's supposed to taste like. As far as I'm concerned, because a lot of people will take like sugar liquor, which is inexpensively made, and they'll go get peach schnapps and load that stuff up, and then it's so smooth, they'll fix this really sweet, syrupy tasting peach flavored drink and call that peach brandy, but that ain't no more peach brandy than I am after night. That ain't a thing in the world, but they're gonna liquor with peach schnapps in it. You got to take some peaches to make you some brandy.
Yeah, say that one more time.
Hey, Anna, while we have you, will you go through the list of cocktails that you guys are making too?
Yeah. So, like I said, we're still doing the takeout cocktails, which has been super, super fun. We're kind of transitioning over since we're getting to reopen again. But we've got Dreamsicle, which has the peach brandy, and it's a bit frothy. It's got orange juice and French vanilla creamer. That's a really popular one. We've got the Moonshine Margarita, which is fun with the salted rim. It's just margarita mix and the sugar liquor. We've got a Ferrum 75, which is what Joni calls it. I don't know if you guys know Joni, but she comes up with some killer drinks. It's a type of lemonade, but it's got like berries in it. It's a little different, and she puts soaked fruit in it. So the Ferrum 75, and that's got pear brandy in it. The Suzy Q has balsamic vinegar and black cherry juice and blackberry brandy. That one's like a mix of sweet and sour. I'm trying to think. Did I forget any?
Sangria.
Sangria. Yeah,
That's
Dad's favorite. The sangria. That has peach brandy. It has rosé wine, a bit of pineapple, and cranberry juice. And then again, she puts the soaked fruit in it. This weekend, like I said, things are changing up a little bit. You can still get them to go. They come in pint jars, and there's 3 ounces of liquor. So it really equals out to 3 cocktails in that, and they're $20 for a pint. But starting this weekend, you can do the cocktail flights again. You can do the spirit flights. And what that is it's 4 little cups, and you can get 4 mini cocktails, or you can get 4 spirit shots, or you can mix it up and do 2 and 2. But like I said, spirits, cocktails, you can have one or the other. You can mix them up. And then the sanitizer, we've got plenty of sanitizer left, which has been lots and lots of fun and lots of local goods.
Got pocketbooks now.
Got pocketbooks now. I got a Henry, Virginia. No, Callaway. He's out of Callaway, JP's Leatherworks. He's got, I guess, a exclusive line, I guess you'd call it, Americana line that he's going to sell here. But purses, and my favorite, the recycled belts. And Dad donated a copper still, and they stamped. It was a cap that the law had cut up. And so he took recycled belts. Joni Bowman did this, and took the copper and stamped it. And same with earrings. We did earrings that way. I hope I didn't forget anything. We've got a lot of things coming up. We just had Josh Gibson create a fun design for us, and we're going to get a line of merchandise done, and we're getting new signage out front. I don't know if you've been to our space, but the signage is just a little wonky. So the new patio, the new signage, the new line of merchandise, yeah, a lot of fun things going on. I'm thankful that we've been able to continue working amidst this pandemic, and I think really shows how well people pull together. I mean, people have just been so gracious and supporting us, especially to do with the sanitizer. So,
Amber, this is Carl, and I just wanted to say thank you so much. You all donated a container of the hand sanitizer to our hospital, and I've shared it with the hospital, with the staff here. They have really enjoyed that. I even gave bottles to our executive leadership team, who got a really big kick out of that. And so you've got a donation coming. Bill can attest to this. It takes a little time to get that donation check out, but you've got a donation coming for that, for your part in helping us with the sanitizer thing. So thank you very much. It was wonderful.
thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
And what are your hours of operation at the tasting room?
It's Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, 1 to 7 p.m. That could change in the future, but right now, 1 to 7, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And I'm usually here on the weekdays during the day if you, for whatever reason, can't make it on the weekends. Did I forget anything, Daddy?
You didn't emphasize on how good that sangria is.